Have you ever stopped to think that your penis may be dying slowly, by your own hands? It sounds like exaggeration, but what you do every day, without even realizing it, may be destroying your power, your trust, and your male health. And the worst, this happens in silence, without pain, no visible signs, until the day it fails, and you panic. Do you feel your erection is no longer like before? What will the will diminish? What something is strange but you prefer to ignore? So it is. Many men do this, and that's exactly where the danger lives. If you are a man and has gone over 40 or is getting there, you need to understand once and for all, there is a silent, seemingly harmless habit that may be killing your virility. And it's not a myth, it is no exaggeration, it is science. It's real. Watch this video to the end, because today I will show you what is behind this time bomb that threatens your sex life, your self-esteem, and even your relationships. It's no use pretending that everything is fine. Your body is screaming, and if you keep ignoring, the price can be too high. It's not just about erection. It is about male identity, about energy, strength, vitality. It's about looking in the mirror and feeling that you are still in control. Do you know what scares me most? It's just that this habit is so common that you probably practice every day, without thinking, without guilt, not imagining that he is making room for serious problems such as impotence, low testosterone, and even inflammation in the prostate. I'm talking to you, a man who wants to remain active, confident, strong, but I'm also talking to you that you have already started to notice that something has changed, and you still don't know what to do. This video is no longer a boring internet chat. Here you will understand clearly, directly, and without curling what is happening to your body, and how you can start to turn this game before it's too late. Every minute that passes without you knowing the truth, your penis loses strength. And I'm not here to soften reality. I'm here to open your eyes, because no one tells you this clearly, not even the commercials, not even the doctor at the 10-minute consultation, not even your friends. But I will tell you. Now, pay attention. If you feel something is wrong, if you want to avoid falling on statistics, if you want to protect yourself now so as not to depend on medicine later, stay with me until the end of this video, because in the next minute, I will reveal the silent habit that has been ending the sex life of thousands of men every day, and how he may be sabotaging you right now. And take the opportunity to comment below. Have you ever felt that your power has changed over time? Be honest. Your comment can help other men who are going through the same situation. And this is a safe space to talk about what many are still ashamed to admit. So now, let's go straight to the point. What, after all, is killing your penis? And why does it happen without you realizing it? If you have come here, you understand that the subject is serious. It's no joke. It is no exaggeration. It is your intimate health at stake. And what do most men do? Ignores. Pretends that everything is fine. Wait to go wrong to seek help. But you are not the majority. You are here, seeking to understand, seeking to prevent, and that already puts you one step ahead. Now, before we continue, and I reveal you exactly what is the silent habit that is sabotaging your penis every day, I want to ask you something simple but powerful. Comment down here, have you ever felt any change in your sex life in recent times? Weaker erection? Less disposition? Less will? Be honest. Shameless. Because this space here is for that. To talk about what no one says but everyone feels. And your story can be the same as thousands of other men who will identify with what you are going through. What's more, when you comment, YouTube understands that this content is important. What more people need to hear this? And then he shows this video to more men, maybe even for your best friend, to your father, to your brother. You can save someone from a serious problem just with a comment. And if you haven't left the like yet, do it now. It costs nothing, but it helps this video come further. It shows that this kind of conversation needs to happen. And of course, you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because here you will see more truths about male health that no one has the courage to speak. Every week, direct content without winding, with practical tips and information that can really change your life. You deserve to take care of your health as you take care of everything you value. It deserves to maintain your power, your energy, and your pleasure, even over the years. And it all starts by understanding what is hurting you in silence. So now that we are connected, let's go straight to the truth that it will change your vision about your own body. The habit that seems harmless, but is draining your virility. Little to pee, I hear. Pay attention, because maybe you're doing it right now. What seems harmless can actually be what is killing your penile health in silence every day. You wake up, sit, work, have lunch sitting, come back to the computer, sit a little more on the couch at night, sleep, repeat. It sounds normal, don't you? But this continuous cycle of physical inactivity is ending the vitality of thousands of men, and most only realize when it is too late. Staying hours and hours sitting with little or no adequate circulation in the pelvic region is like leaving your sexual power slowly suffocating. The blood that should circulate freely, oxygenating its tissues, nourishing its erectile functions, simply does not arrive as it should, and the penis, which depends directly from the circulation, begins to give signs of weakening. At first you ignore. You think it's the stress of the day. You think it was just a bad night, that tomorrow improves. But the signs continue, become frequent, and then when you realize erection is no longer as before, and it's not just a matter of desire, it is physiology, it is circulation, it is health. And if that was no longer a problem big enough, there is another even more treacherous villain that is in the palm of his hand. Pornography. That quick that you find harmless before bed. That spy on the cell phone in the middle of the afternoon. That disguised escape in the bathroom. Pornography, when consumed in excess, reprogram your brain. She addicts, she anesthesia, and worse, it creates such an exaggerated fantasy that, at the time of truth, the real body, the real woman, the real touch, they do not correspond to what her conditioned mind expected. The result? Fall in libido, difficulty maintaining erection, premature ejaculation, feeling of empty after real sex. This is happening to young men, mature men, men who thought they were in control. And here comes the third element of this explosive equation, uncontrolled masturbation. Look, I'm not here to demonize masturbation. Science has already shown that it has its benefits, yes, but everything has a limit. When you do this as an emotional escape, when you use it to compensate anxiety, loneliness, boredom, when you do it 2, 3, 4 times a day, what you are doing is wear out. It is overloading a system that needs balance. Excessive masturbation, mainly associated with pornography, leads to what experts call desensitization of the dopaminergic axis. In clear Portuguese, you lose real pleasure, lose the natural interest, lose the strength of erection because the brain no longer responds with the same intensity to the actual stimulus. It is as if your sensitivity was getting dull, as if your own body no longer recognizes what should be exciting. Do you notice the size of the problem? We are talking about a vicious cycle. You feel tired without energy. Sit all day without moving the body. Look for easy pleasure on the screen. Fast ejacula, without connection, without involvement. Then comes regret, apathy, the fall of self-esteem. And the next day, everything is repeated. It's silent, it is common, but it's dangerous, because gradually you get away from your real power, of your living masculinity, of his essence of manly and active man. And maybe you're thinking now, but I don't feel anything. It's all working. That's where the risk lives, because the body warns, yes, but with subtle signs. You start losing the morning erection, for example, and you think it is normal because you're tired, but it is not normal. Morning erection is one of the main indications of penile health. When she disappears, it's a clear sign that something is not right. Another sign is the need for more visual or mental stimulus to get excited. Before it was enough for a touch, a warmer kiss. Now it seems that nothing will light up anymore. This is a warning. And many men ignore these signs because they are ashamed, because they think it's weakness, because they were created listening that real man realizes everything. But the truth is that a real man takes care of his health, understands your body, and seeks help when something comes out of the axis. And that's exactly what you're doing now, watching this video. You're positioning yourself. It's informing yourself. It is breaking a cycle that has silently destroyed the power of thousands of men. I ask you with all sincerity, have you been sitting a lot of time lately? Have you been more tired, more disconnected from your own body? Have you consumed pornography more often than you would like? Have you masturbated without control, even when you are not in real desire? These behaviors, when isolated, may not do so much damage, but when combined, they can be devastating. And the most dangerous is that all this can happen without pain, without fever, without bleeding, but with deep consequences. The male body is a powerful machine, but it needs movement, balance, real connection. Blood needs circular, Hormones need to flow naturally. The mind needs to be clean, connected to the body. And all of this starts with simple decisions. Getting up more often a day. Reduce porn consumption. Make masturbation aware, with purpose. Sleep better. Take a deep breath. Reconnect with the real touch, with healthy pleasure. And do you know what happens when you start doing this? The results come. Your energy comes back. Its erection is strengthened. Your confidence is reborn. And you feel again in control, as a man, as a human being, as someone who respects itself. So pay attention to what your body is already telling you in silence. Because he speaks, he gives signs, he asks for help. And now that you know what is behind the silent weakening of your power, tells me, which of these habits do you need to change today? Comment here below. You can write only one word: porn, sedentary lifestyle, masturbation. What do you think you are most sabotaging you? Your comment can open the eyes of another man who is going through the same thing and thinking he's alone. Let's talk about it. Let's break the silence. Because only then we saw this game, together. And the most alarming of all this is that the signs are already there. Your body is screaming, but you are ignoring. It is not a lack of warning. It's not a lack of alert. He tries to talk to you every day, in ways that sometimes look small, but they are silent screams asking for help. The problem is that we learn to minimize, to normalize, pushing with the belly. But listen to what I will tell you now carefully. Your penis gives you clear signs that you are losing strength, vitality, health, and you need to recognize before it's too late. It all starts subtly. Those spontaneous erections during the day begin to disappear. You catch yourself thinking, strange, it's been a long time since it was excited for no reason, but let it pass. Then suddenly you realize that you no longer wake up with erection. Before it was automatic. Now the penis dawns soft, lifeless, and you justify by saying that you are tired, which was a week pulled, which is stress, but it is not. The lack of morning erection is one of the main indications that something is wrong with penile health, and especially with its hormonal and circulatory system. Then comes the difficulty in maintaining erection for a long time. You start excitedly, even horny, but in the middle of the relationship, you lose firmness. The penis does not respond as before. The head begins to conflict. You pretend it's okay, change your position, disguise, try to keep the mood, but inside it is frustrated. And the worst part is that this type of failure will affect your trust. It is planting the doubt. And when the doubt sets in, my friend, the psychological becomes an even harder enemy to deal with than the physical problem. Another classic symptom that many men ignore is the loss of sensitivity. It seems that pleasure no longer comes with the same intensity. You need more stimulus, more time, more effort to reach the same level of excitement as before. And that doesn't happen by chance. Penile sensitivity is directly linked to the health of nerves, circulation, and hormones. When there is too much artificial stimulus, as in the case of excessive pornography, or when there is poor circulation due to physical inactivity, this sensitivity is slowly corroded, and the real pleasure, the true touch, loses strength. It is as if your body is anesthetized. Maybe you are also feeling unusual tiredness at the time of sex. Something as if energy ended faster than before. You start excited, but within minutes you feel that your body no longer follows the desire. This may be linked to the low testosterone, poor circulation, metabolic problems, but mainly to the combination of bad habits you have been maintaining too long. Set hours sitting without stimulating the pelvic region, having sleepless nights, live under constant stress. All of this directly impacts your performance. And the most treacherous of all this is that you can continue having sex. You can even have an erection here and there, and yet your body is already on alert, because the penis is not a lamp that burns at once. He erases slowly. It loses its intensity, vitality, spontaneity. It is failing slowly, getting used to the idea that this is normal with age, when in fact, this is a clear warning that changes need to happen. It is common for man to feel that something is not right, but not knowing how to explain. An internal discomfort, a power outage, a feeling that something is missing, even when everything is apparently well. This invisible discomfort is precisely the body signaling that the balance has been broken. Sexual power is directly linked to emotional, physical, and hormonal health. If one of these areas is out of the axis, the penis feels first. It is like a thermometer of your lifestyle. If it and it starts to fail, it's because something needs to change. And it's no use putting the blame only at age. I know men of 60 with more vitality than 30 boys. The difference? Lifestyle, body awareness, daily choices. The man who ignores these signs, who continues to live in the automatic attached to the same habits that are weakening him, will reap the fruits of this negligence, and when you realize the fall will be much harder to reverse. You need to face reality. If you are having difficulty maintaining erection, if sensitivity has fallen, if pleasure is no longer the same, if tiredness appears ahead of time, if the morning erection has disappeared, your body is begging for attention. These are the signs of help from your penis, and your reaction to them will determine the future of your sexual health. Now answer me sincerely. Did you realize any of these changes? Have you noticed a difference in the way your body reacts? Already had that moment when you thought something is strange, but preferred to ignore? Do not judge yourself. This happens to many men. But what separates those who recover their power from those who sink is precisely the action, the willingness to listen to the body, to seek answers, to do something different. And that is what you are doing now. Leave it here in the comments if you've been through or are going through any of these situations. You can write only the word that most represents you now: sensitivity, tiredness, without morning erection, fall of libido, or pretending to be all right. Your comment may seem small, but it is part of a larger movement, a movement of men who are taking control of their own intimate health, who are breaking silence and starting to turn the game. I read everyone, and believe me, every story matters. Keep ignoring these signs and get ready to face something much heavier than just an erection fails, because what begins with minor changes, with lower sensitivity, a loss of energy here and there, grows up, gets worse, even becoming a problem that affects everything: your body, your mind, your confidence, and your relationships. I'm not talking about a simple physical discomfort. I'm talking about a total collapse in your identity as a man. I'm talking about sexual impotence, low self-esteem, shame, frustration, and often the loss of self-respect. Most men have no idea how deep this impact can be. When sexual power begins to fail, it is not just sex that changes. The way you see yourself changes. You stop feeling in control. It begins to avoid moments of intimacy, moves emotionally from the partner. Sometimes, without realizing it, it avoids glances, touches, approximations, because deep down you are afraid of not realizing it. Fear of the penis fails again, fear of feeling less man, and this will corrode inside, undermining your self-confidence, leaving you in a constant state of tension, doubt, and anxiety. All this because you thought it was just a phase that soon passed. That was nothing much, but it was. It was the beginning of a process that, if not interrupted, will only get worse. Sexual impotence does not only destroy the sexual act, it destroys the connection. And not just the connection with the other, but the connection with yourself, with your energy, your virility, your personal power. The man who previously felt safe, decided, vibrant, begins to feel diminished, invisible. This spreads to other areas of life. The guy who feels weak in bed begins to feel weak at work. The man who cannot maintain erection begins to doubt his own ability to lead, to solve problems, to position himself. It is as if the body failure generates a flaw in identity. And this is devastating. Many relationships end up because of this, and not always for lack of love. Sometimes there is plenty of love, but the lack of dialogue, the accumulation of frustration, and the weight of silence kill the connection. The partner feels that you have walked away but does not understand why. You close, avoid contact, and it interprets as rejection. Conflict, charges, comparisons begin, and then what was an intimate and individual problem becomes a couple conflict. This generates fights, distancing, and in many cases, separation. And all this could be avoided if you had stopped to look at yourself, to listen to your body, to recognize the signs. But pride, shame, and illusion of invulnerability speak louder. No, it won't happen to me. It's just stress. I'm a man, it passes. But it doesn't pass. Not without action, not without change, not without conscience. Time passes, and the more you ignore, the harder it gets to recover. Because the body is losing the rhythm, testosterone falls, the mind is conditioning to failure, and recovery increasingly requires effort. There are a lot of men today living a deleted life, without pleasure, without energy, dull in the eyes, Simply, Ruka refused to admit that he needed to change. He refused to pay attention to his own body. He refused to see that that little discomfort, that silly sign, was just the beginning of a giant problem. And then, when you finally realize, when you finally feel the weight of what let it happen, it is already facing a deep, emotional, physical, and sexual crisis. But perhaps the worst of all is to see how preventable this is. Because, unlike other diseases or conditions that arise unexpectedly, the fall in penile health is, most of the time, a direct reflection of the lifestyle, of physical inactivity, of poor diet, of excessive consumption of pornography, of masturbation without control, of unregulated sleep, chronic stress. These are things that are in your daily life, and that you can change. Yes, you can. Only you need to want. You need to act. You need to take responsibility. Because no one will do this for you. No one will give you the power back if you don't get up yourself and search. It's no use waiting for a miracle. It's no use cheering that tomorrow everything will go back to normal. The human body does not work that way. Its hormonal system needs stimulus, care, presence. The health of your penis depends on your movement, your breath, your routine. Vitality is not a gift that falls from the sky. It is a direct reflection of its choices. Daily, small but powerful choices. And each wrong choice, however small, charges a price. And this price is often too high. That's why I tell you with all the clarity of the world, don't expect the worst to happen to start taking care of yourself. Do not wait for that moment when the partner looks with disappointment. Do not expect the diagnosis medical appointment you could have avoided. Do not expect to feel that you lost something that was once your nature, your power, your virility, your confidence. With each passing day without change, without attitude, you are letting it escape. And then, to recover, the path is longer, harder, more painful. And it's not just your body you suffer, it's your mind, your energy, your life. It all starts to seem harder when your masculinity is weakened. The challenges look bigger, the motivation disappears, pleasure in little things disappear. You feel disconnected, without purpose, and all this because you didn't hear the clearer warning your body could give you. A penis that does not respond as before is more than a physical problem. It is a desperate request for change, by presence, by reconnecting with its male essence. And now I want you to look at yourself honestly, that recognize where you are making a mistake, that realizes the standards that are harming you, that identifies the habits that need to be broken, and take control of your sexual health as a priority. Because in the end, all this starts in you, and only you can decide that you won't ignore it anymore. That will no longer push for later. That will no longer accept living with half the power you know you have. If you identify with everything I've said here, comment below with the word that most represents what you are living now. It can be impotence, shame, I want to change, I am waking up, or even male strength. This shows that you are conscious, that you want to turn the game, and that there are other men here going through the same pains. And if you know someone who also needs to hear it, share it. Because the more we talk about it with truth, the more men we will break free from this silent cycle that destroys so much. The good news is that no matter how heavy, definitive, or even scary, it is still time to reverse. There is still time to recover its power, to restore its male energy, to feel again that vitality that seemed lost. The body has an impressive intelligence of regeneration, response to care, but it only happens when you decide to act. When you stop pushing with your belly and start treating your intimate health with the importance it really deserves. But look, there is no magic. There is no miraculous pill that will return your virility overnight today. There is action, there is attitude, there is a decision, and that decision needs to start now. The more you advance, the harder it gets, and the sooner you change, the faster the results come. And I'm not just talking about sexual power, I'm talking about disposition in everyday life, mental clarity, self-esteem, pleasure to live. The first thing you need to understand is that your body was done to move. Modern man spends too much time sitting, too much time consuming passively, and almost no time moving what really matters. If you want to restore your power, the first step is to move your body. I'm not talking about becoming an athlete, nor entering the gym 5 times a week. I'm talking about just walking every day for 30 minutes. An accelerated walk already. It activates its circulation, already oxygenates its organs, already stimulates the production of testosterone. It already improves mood. already light something inside you that was asleep. The body needs it. The prostate thanks. The penis responds. And when I say it answers, it's real. Many men report improvement in erections simply by including this daily habit of movement. It is no coincidence. It is pure physiology. The erection depends on blood, and the blood needs movement to circulate hard. And it's no use just walking if you spend the rest of the day sitting. Get up every hour. It does stretching. Activates the perineum muscles. Breathe deep. It makes the blood circular. This is the beginning of healing, from the resumption of your virility. The second point, and perhaps one of the most delicate, is the control of pornography and unbridled masturbation consumption. I know it's a taboo theme, that many men avoid talking about it, but it is precisely this silence that has been feeding an addiction disguised as pleasure. The problem of pornography is not sex itself, it is what it does with your brain. It is the amount of artificial stimulus that it dumps in seconds. It is the pattern of unreal pleasure that it conditions. It is the loss of body connection with the real, with the human touch. You watch a video, then another, and suddenly none is more enough. It needs something more aggressive, more exaggerated, faster. And when you go to real life, none of this exists. The real body, the time of the partner, the rhythm of real intimacy, everything seems slow, bland. The result? Weak erection, premature ejaculation, lack of interest. And that removes you from the relationship, leaves you from yourself, leaves you dependent on a screen to feel pleasure. This is not sexual freedom. This is chemical prison. And then masturbation comes in. When done consciously, balanced, connected, it may even be healthy. But when it becomes an automatic habit, several times a day, often only for boredom, anxiety, or frustration, it becomes wear, an emptying of your vital energy. The man who masturbates without conscience, without pause, without break, loses sensitivity, loses strength, loses vigor. What you need now is moderate. Reduce. Make this a choice, not an addiction. Cut for a week, then for 2. Observe the signs of the body, feeling how your energy begins to change, as your mind brightens, how the royal desire is born again. And the third step, perhaps the most neglected, is the care of circulation through food and sleep. Sleeping badly is like turning off the body from the socket. Deep sleep is the moment when your body regenerates, where testosterone is produced in greater quantity, where your mind cleans excesses and prepares for the next day. If you sleep late, bad, with cell phone light on your face, stimulated until the last second before you close your eyes, your body rests, your mind does not relax, your hormonal system collapses, and the next day, you are more tired, more annoyed, with less libido. And then, to compensate, seek immediate pleasure, enters the cycle of pornography, masturbation, tiredness, a cycle that drains your strength until you no longer recognize who is in the mirror. And it's no use sleeping well if your food is sabotaging your circulation. Inflammatory foods, excess sugar, bad fat, excess alcohol, all this makes it difficult to reach blood where it matters most. And remember, without blood, there is no erection. Begin to enter foods that activate circulation, which nourish your prostate, which improve your cardiovascular system. And it doesn't have to be radical at all. Only small exchanges already make a difference. 1 cup of water more a day, less coffee, green one on the plate, one choice at a time. Your body will feel, will thank you, will answer. Your penis is not a robot. It is part of a living, complex, intelligent system. He feels what you feel. It reflects what you live. He responds to care or neglect, and he deserves respect. Do not wait for him to stop working to decide to take care. Don't wait for the full failure so you run after what you could have protected now. Care begins today, now, with a walk, with a well-slept night, with a better food choice, with a day without pornography, with a more conscious touch, with a reconnection with your body and its natural male strength. If you got here, I want to make you an invitation to action, for change, to resume your sexual energy, your trust, your power. Comment down here which of these habits you will change first. It writes only one word such as movement, pornography, sleep, food, masturbation, or care. This is already the first step. This already shows that you understood the message. And share this video with a friend, with someone you know you're going through and don't have the courage to talk. Because we need to open this conversation. It needs break the silence. And you need to unite as men who want to live hard with vitality, with real pleasure. So tell me, what will your first attitude be after this video? I want to see in the comments. If you stayed with me here, it is because you are different from most. You are a guy who does not accept to live in half, who wants to really take care of himself and recover his power, his energy, his confidence as a man. And that, my brother, already puts you in front of many people. So now do the following. Subscribe to the channel right now. Here is your space where we speak without frills, without coolation, and without taboo about male health, prostate, sexual power, testosterone, habits that change your life, all with truth and responsibility. And activates the bell, because in the next videos I will bring even deeper strategies for you to boost your vitality. Comment down here the phrase, "I take care of my power." This shows that you have come to the end, understood the value of this content, and are making this commitment to yourself. What's more, your comment can inspire other men who are silent, needing a push to change. And of course, leave your like, because if this video helped you in any way, that's your way of saying, thanks, I want more. YouTube understands that this content is important and shows to more men that also need to hear this urgent message. Now do the following. Click on the next video that is appearing here on the screen, because it is the perfect continuation of this conversation. In it, I will show you how to identify the first signs of hormonal imbalance and what to do to recover your testosterone naturally. I see you there.